to you all. I'm Amita. I'm Senior Vice President with a captive of a global bank. So yes, I work in banking technology. In fact, all my professional experience has been into banking technology, building various banking products into various tiers of banking. And of course, that has been a conscious choice. I'll come back to that later. Apart from this, I also co-chair an ERG of my organization. ERG is basically Employee Resource Group of my organization, which works towards creating a more equitable work environment, especially for the LGBTI plus community. So yeah, this slide, a glimpse, a sneak peek into my life. Those are my incredible parents who stood behind me every step of the way, who have been a pillar of support for me, my strength, my cope-up mechanism, my bouncing back mechanism. That's my incredible team. Yeah, I love backpacking in the mountains, The typical question, beaches or mountains? So it's mountains for me, hands down. Why? #mountains are big. So, they have been healers. They have been a cope-up mechanism for me again. They have been a therapy. I also do mandalas. And yes, I am a cat mom. Those are my babies. They play a very important role in my life. But then, they only come to me when they need food. Otherwise, they don't even recognize me. Yeah. See, today I'm having this conversation with you all on such a prestigious platform, in such an esteemed organization. Little bit flexing, little bit flying in the air. The moment I go back home, bam, reality will hit me. They'll not even recognize me. So they keep me on my toes, and that's how they're important. Yes, apart from all this, I am a woman of transgender experience. So, for significant years of my life, I struggled with something which is medically recognized as gender dysphoria or gender incongruence now. Of course, this realization didn't happen overnight. It was an extremely difficult process. And more than that, acceptance was very, very difficult. And then I made a conscious choice of transitioning socially, legally, medically to be the woman I always wanted to be. Yeah. Post my gender transition, several other opportunities also opened up for me in the space of, let's say, advocacy, diversity, equity, and inclusion, or counseling for the individuals struggling with similar issues. And that's where I reflected on certain factors, and I decided to continue my career in the banking technology space. One of the reasons has been venturing into the spaces, capturing the spaces which are conventionally not perceived for queer and trans people. Second aspect to it has been my conversations help me understand the immense disbalance, the inequality. Look at the numbers. Even today, if you see, I could be the only single woman of transgender experience having a seat at the table in the banking technology world in India. That's the reality we are talking about. That's where it's important that through my visibility, through my purpose or through my visibility, I create that legacy for somebody who can look up to me. Because what was missing in my professional life, especially, a relatable role model, a relatable reference point. In fact, I still remember a conversation which I had with a psychiatrist, which happens to be a woman, during my self-understanding phase. So I told her, this is what I feel. This is what my experience is. This is the information that I have gathered from the internet. This is the information that I have gathered from people with similar lived experiences. So this is how it is. She heard my story and she was like, look at you. You're fit. You're healthy. You come from a very good family. You're well educated. You have a well-paying job. You want to leave all that, wear saris and start begging at the traffic signals. Is that what you do to your life? Back then, it made me angry at her. But today I realize, just like me, she also did not have any relatable role model, a relatable reference point, apart from the hijras begging at the traffic signals or the portrayals that we see in Bollywood. That's where, through my legacy, I'm trying to create this reference point to somebody, especially from a small town, who is, afraid to come out, who's struggling with their own identity, who is suffocating, you know, who is feeling worthless, hopeless, or who is made to feel worthless, hopeless because they're different, who is singled out, who is constantly made fun of. My dear friend, I too was in that space a couple of years ago. And today, I can look back at that person with pride. So hang in there, my friend. My conversations also help me understand where the corporate sector stand today when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, of course, over the years, when I started off my professional journey and what I see today, monumental changes or reform have happened. Yes. For example, now we have gender neutral policies in place. We have gender neutral washrooms in place. Sensitization conversations have happened and continue to happen. Employment opportunities are getting created for less, marginalized individuals. But at the same time, somewhere we are equating diversity to labels. The moment we equate diversity to labels, we compartmentalize our workforce. We fall into the trap of tokenism, rainbow capitalism. So diversity is about lived experiences, which is beyond labels. I'll give you an example, okay? Diversity, when we talk about inclusion, it's about having these lived experiences at the table. Inclusion is about leveraging these lived experiences towards same problem statement where you have different perspectives, so that the product that you're building, the solution that you're building is robust, is holistic, and a true reflection of the diverse consumer base that solution is for. Have you ever thought what has been Apple's sales pitch heavily influenced with? Have you observed it? It has been heavily influenced by privacy and confidentiality. One of the reasons could be because it is headed by a gay man. His generation, my generation, we lived under extreme fears. Fears of somebody finding it all out. Fears of our parents finding it out and abandoning us. Fear of our friends finding it out and leaving us. Fear of us getting subjected to violence. Us getting put into corrective therapies if somebody finds it out. So who better than us can understand the importance of privacy and confidentiality? That's how lived experiences influence products and product journeys. Also, the other aspect to it is we live in authentic times, Organizations are encouraging individuals to bring their authentic selves to work. Look at you all. With digital transformation, access to information, you all have been exposed to every single reform that is happening in the wider society. I'm sure a lot of you already know, after 2030, third gender is a legally recognized gender in India. Section 377, which criminalized homosexuality in India, has been run down in 2018. The marriage equality hearing that is going on in our very own Supreme Court, I'm sure you have heard it. So the conversations about gender identity, sexual orientation, definition of male, female, have entered into our living rooms and drawing rooms. You all have been exposed to it. So you're not going to brush your identity under the carpet. A lot of you are going to embrace your individuality unapologetically. And that's where we need leaders who are comfortable with this authenticity. That's where we need leaders who have risen above their own prejudices and biases and who can leverage this authenticity for innovation and who can help change the numbers. What are the numbers? So in India, if you see, 500,000 population identifies as trans persons. out of which 98% are abandoned by their families, most of them at a very early age. So they don't have education, no skilling. How can they expect employment, right? But then those who are educated, 96% of those are denied of jobs for their identity and because they are different. That's where the onus lies on you all to future leaders of this country to contribute towards changing this narrative, to contribute towards changing these numbers. That's what inclusion is all about. I'm sure you have heard about inclusion on multiple occasions. I'm sure some of you have heard about allyship on certain occasions. This is a very simplified definition of all that. Just help contribute towards changing these numbers. You know, on a concluding note, maybe I would say this. So, Pride Month will come. I'm sure you have heard of it. June is celebrated as Pride Month. Pride Month will go. Rainbow tsunami will hit us in the month of June. It will subside post June. You know, if I bump into an ex-colleague, we will share about our professional journeys. I might talk about my promotion, to which he will respond, यार सोच रहा हूँ मैं भी अपना जेंडर चेंज कर लूँ, क्या पता मुझे भी प्रमोशन मिल जाए. Don't mind, just kidding. Translation: I should also change my gender. Yeah, I'll also get promotion if not anything else. Don't mind, but just kidding. So I'll be demerited, discredited for my gender transition, but at the same time I'll be celebrated for it. Some union cabinet minister will go on a global forum and when asked about trans women's inclusion into women's spaces would say, it's my constitutional and administrative responsibility to protect women's spaces and don't let others venture into it. So would immediately other me and so many women like me who fit into binary, who are female legal. During Pride Month, I'll get so many, my inbox will be flooded with invitation for advocacy, engagements, but I hope I'll get at least a few on 8th of March, that is Women's Day. But then, you know, that's how life is. My journey tells me life is not fair for everybody, right? You know, we'll have enablers, we'll have disablers. We'll have people who will celebrate us, but we'll have people who will pull us down. And gender is the easiest thing to attack somebody, especially me. And that's where Claire Newton's control theory helps me. What is that theory? You have a circle of control, things that you control, and then you have things that you can't control. The more you focus on the things that you can't control, the more you lose focus from your larger purpose, larger objective. And that's where you need to continue focusing on the control circle by picking your battles wisely, of course. Because you are the one who needs to protect your sanity, your peace, your energy. Nobody's going to do that for you, right? And that's why I start my every single day with this loud affirmation to my own self. Girl, from a worthless, hopeless dead end to understanding yourself, accepting yourself, and finally getting comfortable into your own skin, you have come a long way and nobody can take that shit from you. So you need to celebrate it today, every day.